rainy day, if we will. All right, so I'm turning up my mic here. There's fans running in the background, and I guess I gotta talk over them. I'm gonna just peg the meat. I'm putting this all the way to the red. You guys figure it out on your end. Hopefully it's blasting, and you tell me in the comments, "Oh, turn it down." And I'm like, no, that's when I know I had hit the right spot. Okay, so on that cheery note, as always, regularly, I'm not ready to do one of these, and I got to anyway. So, thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Much appreciated. I am Verde Arbusto. This is the Schumann Resonances with Verde, and that's me, guilty as charged. And thank you for being here. Hopefully everything is working on your end. And if you would, if it's not too much difficulty on your end, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Not all at the same time, not necessarily in that order, but if you would, subscribing, hitting the bell, notifications bell helps you on your end get your notifications regularly. And my channel's not monetized, so I I I I don't have a stake in the at this point the number. It's not a popularity contest, So I find almost 3,000 to be relative to me a successful audience. 2.85K. Like, oh wow, thank you all of you for being here, and especially the 10, the Verde is terrific 10, as I call you, the rooting section, who are here regularly, and who give in the Patreon and all of this, so thank you for being here. But the comments are for you guys. Share is for people you don't know. I mean, these are sort of obvious things, but it helps my channel to grow, and it helps more people because I'm not monetized. I need you guys on your end. Sharing is a big way to, if you want to do something, you can't put a buck in the bin for me to Patreon or any of the cash, whatever. That's fine. Share the video. Share the video with a friend of yours. Put it on your Facebook. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that helps a lot of people out more than you know. And that's sort of along the lines of why I'm doing this, what I'm doing this, and why I'm doing this now. And I'm going to be posting this like almost as soon as it's hot off the press, because my guide said you got to get this out, and you got to remember why you're here and why you're doing this, right? So, to the over there is my script, and I, like I said, the data anomalies are always relevant. Well, I said here somewhere there, but it's always a relevant thing when we talk about, we discuss the data anomalies on the the graph here. Because it always gives, like, conspiracy theories. No, not anymore. Conspiracy theories are largely proven to be true. No, these are ascension age tales. It's a different thing, right? You just got to stick with the the moving timelines, time waves. The changeover of the vernacular, from the vocabulary to the vernacular. Everything is shifting. Like, the people are going crazy, and that's why they need me, the lead crazed one, to help, kind of patch them back up together. Actually, maybe I'll put that in the description, the lead crazed one, to help out the crazies, my fellow crazies, but in a good way. No, not me. I'm not crazy in a good way, often. But I do my best, to not let it take others. So thank you for being here. Like, share, comment, we got through that. It all helps. All that helps. Especially the algorithm. It gets the videos percolating up. It's not just me. You should do that. For all of your videos, check your channels, YouTube channel, video channels. Check. Make sure that you are still subscribed to them. Right? You see, when you go to a video, so you make sure you got the little notification bell. They're black, highlighted, and it helps us all. The community. That's kind of what we're supposed to be building here, as a community, like it or not. And so I'm like, go to the videos you like, comment, be part of the community. That's why I like doing the premieres, because it gives a chance to live chat. right? And I think that's what, more than anything, is, it's building the vocabulary, the vernacular, all of that, the dialogue with people who are like-minded. And as a moderator on a few of these things, I work not to let my personal views get in the way of people having their own individual discussion. And sometimes I just leave. I leave a little bit frustrated because there's a lot I want to say, and I'm just like, oh no, a different element is here, and I'm ay 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 ay. So, um, uh, anyway, it's a thing. I don't know if other people go through that or whatever, but as a moderator, I administrator, a moderator, like, just by the fact that I know the most about the subject, I become the moderator, administrator, blah blah, whatever. And it's like, man, I just a fucking country technician, a the field tech, shade tree mechanic. Yeah, that's me. Doing it for 40 years. Yeah, I know the most about the subject. Ooh, great for me. Fuck, now we're gonna make videos on this. The 10 of you. There's more than 10, literally more than 10, but the 10 of you, you know who you are. Jackie, Pam, Wages, even Mark Pyers is he's an honorary. Wages is an honorarium. They're out of the numbering, but they're still there. And Trish, Bradley, of course, Mama Bear. There's a lot of the regulars that are there who give their love when I'm doing this, and so that's why I got to remember to do this, and that's why it's part of the sharing and the all of that, the comments. It's part of the love that we send out to one another. Oh my God, 1717 was right when I said love. I looked at the time, the recording time. 17 are two of my magic numbers, angel numbers, guild numbers, whatever. 1313 and 1717. I have a bunch of them, but anyway, so that marks the time code, marks love. And so I thank you for being here. So we are the data anomalies are always in fashion to talk about relative to the Schumann resonances, and it's one of those off-topic, off-script ideas, ideologies that I get to work through. That's not strictly Schumann resonances, but that is of how do I say this? Of like outside matters, right? That I can talk about without fear of. I don't even know what the heck how to phrase this, but without fear of, I like to stay on topic. I like to stay on script. I like to only discuss Schumann resonances, and that's why I wouldn't call it debunking, but maybe in some cases it is, the Ascension Age myths, this stuff and the dialogue and all of this. So, part of it, again, is the guy who knows better on a number of different subjects, number of different topics, so not just the physics, limited physics, but the technical and the scientific aspects of all this, but also the spiritual, the metaphysical, the occult, the whack job side as well. Right? I'm well versed in whack job nutcases, believe me, if I describe the person, the thing, as a freak, you trust that as a mark of the stamp of absolute truth. They're out there. In my humble opinion, on myself, I know I'm out there. But onward and upward. So. That's why, it's perfect for me to, I guess I'd be admin, because the voice of reason and a lot of the stuff needs to shine through. It's that simple. And so, good, bad, or otherwise, like it or not, that's me. I'm sort of the last one left standing, and that's kind of why I'm doing this. Uh, in some senses. Uh, and I'm and this is an introduction. I have the material here, so you can read it. And so before I get into it, I have the original what I did in the 26th, and so we're now a couple days into this, and so the update is this part here is all this. Hello, this all is the update since it's been posted online. And I posted it on Patreon, and I have that pulled up behind the spectrogram. So I'm looking, even before I get into this, I'm looking at this from a different angle than I have even been, right? And so I'm other things on the graph might be accountable for, right? I've other anomalies might be accountable for, all right? I've done videos on it. The Jacob's wheel, I think was one of them, or Ezekiel's wheel. I think the kind of a resonance curve that happens, a weird arc, a weird anomaly that happens, right? So I have a video on that, and I've done other videos, and I've done other videos on the data void, as I call them. I don't call them a blackout for a reason. So I refer to them as a data void because it's more technically accurate to say that. And for the fact, again, of why I'm doing this is because the connotation of the term blackout is that it's manipulated data. Okay. So I've always questioned that as a motive, right? As a legitimate thing, right? That I can't necessarily give an accounting for what happens to it, right? In the affirmative, but in the negative, I am fairly well convinced that it's not a person, people sitting there removing data. All right, so that's where I come into this from today forward. All right, so let me pause this for a second, if I could. Okay, so technology, these windows are an amazing thing. I I have to say, Alex was very impressed when he saw how I had things laid out. And yeah, I'm going to take a side detour here for a minute. When I had got all of the laptop and the kind of the rudimentary stuff hooked up, and especially with the program and the windows and how I kind of laid everything out, which was all neatly organized and it all looks very, very professional, and I had the two flat screen monitors. One's of course the laptop, the other is a legitimate monitor HD TV, high resolution, blase blase. And it's like, when I was first learning how to do video editing, it's like it's a world of different. You literally have to have a camera and capture and just the ability to do a screen capture like this off of the computer is just this amazing technology that still blows my mind. It's perfect for me to talk about this, right? The spectrogram, because I know how this works. I have technical experience with this, right? Even being the tech of my own studio, I'd much rather be the tech and put it all together than the talent, talking on it, except for the fact that I view this as a, video DJ, that I've always wanted to be, so Alex was very impressed when I was doing this, and he was like, "Wow, I hadn't realized how to you could kind of lay it out in that way and use different things and the notepad and the what is it, the VLC player and all of this, and so it's been fun working with him. And Alex is doing his thing out of his car and the next day. He's in Massachusetts. So I saw him the other day. He's doing good. We connected up again. He's got some new songs. For what it's worth, um, brother from another mother. Um, so uh, it's been a great you know experience for me, not just doing the putting the studio together, but being able to talk about the tech of the studio itself and have it relevant to the channel and to me and to what we're doing, because it sort of validates what I'm saying, that I know about the equipment and how it works, and I can bore you to death with the the studio and talking the technical aspects of the studio and the equipment and the video and the mics and the mixer and the settings and the XLR cable and all of this technical stuff. But you'd be like, all right, okay. You'd follow along, and you'd be like, your eyes would glaze over, and you'd be like, all right. I submit. You do know how the technology and the equipment works. Okay. Could you go back to doing something fun now, please? Could we have an Aronmix, please? It may or may not happen, but that's why I like throwing it casually about the being the DJ, the working as a tech, and the studio engineer, assistant or associate studio engineer. I'm not the head studio engineer, but I love plugging everything in and all of that. Um, so uh, as a technical person, getting back to the topic, as a technical person, I am myself wondering. I'm curious, right? Right? I'm as a troubleshooting field technician by training. I am still questioning what is happening with it, right? And so this is a legitimate report, and as such, we're looking at like the realm of possibilities of what it can be, right? Um, and there are a number of potential explanations, some of which they're beyond metaphysical. I'm going to say that they're impossible. Uh, you could call them metaphysical. The timeline, it's a shifting timeline that this is, right? Like showing. Um, yeah, that's not metaphysical. That's impossible, right? On a number of levels, which I could go into, right? Because I'm the guy. I have that in my sign, my house, right? The chart, the birth chart is a blueprint of how you're born, and you can loosely go by it. But if you have questions of why your life is some weird way, why do other people have things that I don't, like, that's a good question for your chart. Look at your natal chart, see how you're born, what kind of weird, wacky configurations you were born, and if none of the humans can give you a satisfactory response, then look at your chart, then look at the stars, then look at the alignment of all the rest of how the galaxy and everything is, right? Then look at that, right? But if you can't find, an answer among yourself, ask yourself, or then the humans that are closest to you, who you appreciate and talk to and love, and uh, 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 can you can appreciate their response. Like if they can't help you, like, I don't know if a paid professional can help you better, but look at the intricacies of what's going on and the balance of the rest of the solar system, right? We're not alone here in the solar system. The Earth and the rest of these are all working together as a team, and like it or not, they all have an influence on each other, right? Uh, Believe what you will. How you deal with it is your own thing, right? But that's how you start. That's where you start with, and you can be of a fluid yourself and not be bound up by the alignments of things and what's going on around you, right? Um, that's one of the things I talk about. Properly grounding is you of yourself, like centering in your energy, All right, and that's one of the important things of proper grounding. All right, so I had actually meant to do this earlier, but I think now is a good time. I do these because uh, the notifications get sent out and people get them late. Like I do introductions, I do intentionally do long introductions before the material for the people that come in late, right? So if it seems like I'm, kind of in some cases I've gone off script. I don't know where I am, right? And it's all right. So I've legitimately gone out there. But I try to develop, some things before the material even, and especially a lot of this, I've said this, it's in the works. I'm still kind of writing it as, even now, I'll be looking at it and kind of writing through it. So, so that's part of what my thing is. I'm a writer. I'm a technician. That's kind of what I'd rather do, I think. But it, like it sucks to be by myself. And that's sort of what these videos are, is me being part of the community, right? With you guys out there. Some of you, I have your kind of personal connections, personal information. But generally speaking, the comments are where everyone goes to, say hi and thank you, and you're great, and, or you're not, you're a turd, either or, whatever, say it, give your opinion, that's fine. It's all good. It helps with the algorithm, whatever. I don't care, good, bad, or otherwise. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. Just interact with it in some way. And so that's why it's part of why I'm doing this, is for you guys as well, and for me to be part of you guys' life. And especially when I do these, and I get kind of moved by, the spirit, or the creation or whatever, the universe. I've given people some very valuable, useful information about stuff, right? Even something that I casually even would have kind of tossed out, but it was a interesting little thing I knew, or whatever, or how whatever it applied, and people, oh wow, holy crap, I live for that. I really truly do. My guides remind me, and I think this is a good intro to the next part. My guides remind me of my guides remind me of what I bring to this, because I do more time in meditation than most people do, right? And why? Because I have that time, and mainly, but also because it keeps me sane and sober and centered, and and also I have a strong idea of a higher power, right? Of a God, a creator God, right? I have a good, whatever, good, bad, or otherwise, whatever its picture is relative to yours, or whatever, it is my own. And it's a very strongly held picture in my head, an image, a place, right? It's essentially, it starts at the eternal garden with the amethyst flame, and that's the near heaven of source where God is, right? And for me, right? For other people, it's different, but that's what the image is that's held in my head of that. And people can go there and visit it, but they don't have it in their head like I do. I mean, that's what they told me. It's different for others, right? And so, so I have to. I got to remember that people need that light that I shine, that I bring, that I. When I'm doing well, it comes through, and when I'm in a good mood and all of that, I'm happy, it shines through. When I smile, and a genuine smile, it shines through, because it's not coming from myself. It's coming from a source greater than myself, right? I just humbly offer that to you. That's why I'm doing this, and that's why I'm here. Not necessarily for me, for my benefit, but because without me, my will to do this, to be present, without this happening, right? You guys can't benefit from what I have, what I do, right? You all have different great and wonderful gifts and things that you have and you bring, that are unique to you. And this is the thing one of the things that I had that's unique and wonderful to me. Right? I think that's a fair way to put this. So I have to remember that, that's what the main part of what my job here is to motivate and inspire, even if they may not really get too much about the technical material, right? That at least they have a good spiritual message, which is, it's not me bringing the Schumann resonances into the spiritual stuff. It's the spiritual people bringing the Schumann resonances into their thing, right? Thanks for opening the door, right? I don't know how to put it. Like, I'm not going to hold that against you for having some weird, wacky, metaphysical people or whatever. Like, no, it's like you open the door to some wonderful stuff, and there's some spiritual principles that a lot of people don't realize that a person that you could have that would help you and benefit in your life. It's more important to know the principles than the facts. It is more important to know the principle than the facts. Right? You can go anywhere out there on the internet, YouTube land, and find people that'll, give you some facts and blah, 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 or whatever they think passes for a fact. Not for me to judge, right? I don't go there and whatever. I'll read it. I'm not commenting. But by the same token, it's like, I give you these principles, not just dealing with the Schumann resonances and dealing with the equipment and the technical stuff, right? My area of expertise, the technical stuff. But I give you other principles that are maybe more important than the factual information of what it is. And one of those principles is know the most local influences first. Right? May not seem to be a principle or a spiritual principle. Oh, who wouldn't know that? But yeah, exactly. You'd be surprised who wouldn't think to know that, or think it's relevant to check or whatever. Not my place to judge. I'm just saying, just observing as a fact, just talking about one of those, principles that's involved that I'm talking about. All right. Okay, so 3303, great place to start. So with that in mind, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break off from the text, the narrative, the whatever the hell I was just thinking. And I'm going to, this is a perfect place, 333, to propose that we all kind of going to pause, take a breath, right? And this is a good point to say if you want to have some coffee, have a cup of coffee right now. I'm going to pause, right? I am going to take a sip of my big ass mug here to refresh myself. And what I'm going to do is I have done this a few times in the past, but I'm going to, on this video, because it was just so, my guide said, you get this out now, like, now. Some people need your motivation and your inspiration, especially when I do this as a live stream, right? And you guys have my attention, right? Someone invariably needed to talk to me, right? Whenever I boodly do this thing out there, right? So with that, we're going to bring our minds to the same place, right? I'm going to close my eyes here, right? So we're bringing our minds to the same place. We're being of one accord. Before I go further into the message, we're going to just take a minute to reflect on, not just why you're here at this moment, preferably, hopefully, to get my attention, get some of my time, but, why are you here? Why, not just here in, not just here in the chat, not just with me, but just here in the society and your place here. What are you doing? What's your place here, right? And this may seem like a just totally off topic kind of thing, and hey, maybe it may be, okay? But I want to be of one accord and one mind. And I'm going to present to you that my mission, my time here in doing this, is to, like I said, to give you principles to work with on the bigger picture of things, okay? But also to also be somewhat of a beacon of kind of the technical truth relative to this, right? And also to help give people a guide in how this works, how this applies to them, right? And what I've been working with is the aspects of the physiological aspects of the Schumann resonances. Okay, so I'm asking my guides right now to work with me here, that I can kind of direct this, channel this. I don't know. I hate using the word channel, but just for whatever the implied implications to it. But I ask my guides to work with me that this not only directs itself to people's health and wellness overall, but a good positive message that people can take with them throughout their week. Right? Like, this is just where we're at here, just the most personal thing that I can give and bring to this is to help you find, some kind of stability in your life. Right? I think that may be the most, that's the one above thing that in my life I'm kind of looking for, that I need to find, is that stability. Right? So this would be by request for a few of you. I'm going to spend a few minutes kind of speaking my original language on this, right? That we can invoke the spirit of truth here in this. It's like the deepest and darkest part of Halloween, this data void here, right? What is this? What is this, right? So we question this, and I'm going to speak a light language for 2 minutes or whatever, maybe a minute. Some of you will resonate with us, some of you won't. It doesn't matter, right? This is the last thing I got to do here in these videos, and as time is ticking on, life is just I so I offer this humbly, as time is ticking on. Some of you, the world's going crazy. Yeah, Mark Pyros was saying, world's going crazy. Yeah, it has. And so within the midst of that, like I was saying, there's one person whose job there is to help unify and motivate the people, right? And for lack of anyone else, I guess I'll do that. Just kidding, I think. So anyway, let me give you this for those of you who are of this accord. It's time. Antre enchem ufamo ufapawa atsetrech grama atrech gram. Tutu uma ufapawa shichum chumbumomo pupumomoa hashimara ara ata acha aya oa. Infa ara aya ua, ocha boika alta, ua, acha acha aya ua, boika acha ata ua, acha aya ua, oka, acha oka, acha, acha aka oya, aka oya, oya, acha oya, acha aya, acha aya oya, acha aya oya, acha aya oya. Ilta acha oya, acha aya oya, acha aya oya, ilta acha oika, yanta acha oika, acha oya, acha acha aya oinka, pakcha oika. And kaka acha oya, acha ocha, acha. Ocha, acha, oya, aka, acha, mama, acha, acha, aya, oya, aka, aya, oya, acha, aya, oya, acha, oya, 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 tata, acha, aya, oya, acha, Foroyama, Hachacha, Achacha, Mfa Oika, acha, aya, oya, acha, aya, oya, acha, aya, oya, Cantas to tilch aya, oya, acha, aya, oya, oya, acha, give or take, in oya, acha. And so that's a gift to you, if you will accept it from Source and wherever, from the garden, the eternal garden with the amethyst flame. Just humbly offer that to you. All right, so on that cheery note, time for a smoke and an Aronmix. Let's see what we got here. You deserve it. Oh, please.